Youth Nation, Kurt Forsyth coming to you from Florham Park, Lifetime Athletic, joined by Quash, Weedham Boys, James Mooney, Westchester, checking us out, I guess, seeing how the competition's looking. Anyway, championship game tonight. Number 1 seeded Monstars versus number 3 seeded Downtown. Game a little bit different than what we expected.
I got to be honest. I thought it was going to be a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was mad that I had to come and watch.
I second that.
So I was pleasantly surprised, and you know, Downtown couldn't hang on, but they played a great game. I didn't think they had a chance in the game, but the Monstars are the champs. But we know that they have some lazy components on their team.
Mm-hmm.
It's the end of the year. Are we name calling or are we not going to? You gotta be done.
Let it all out.
If you feel like putting a name out there, go ahead.
Okay, well, they have Lazy Rob.
Okay.
Who's usually at half court. And, you know, I like Rob, but let's call it what it is. He's a lazy guy.
Mm.
And Wayne isn't exactly Captain Energy.
Okay.
So we'll leave it at that.
Oh, James, obviously you haven't seen all the games this season, but would you say there was like a turning point in this game, or was it just kind of roller coaster and then just all of a sudden the game broke out?
Well, here's the deal. Downtown just shot the hell out of it, right? I think they blew their load in the first half, truthfully. And, you know, you saw Monstars playing lackadaisical, but like never doubting that they were going to lose this game. I mean, seriously, they never panicked. Never once. And like Quash says, I mean, Rob Lazy, whatever he wants to do, I've said it from the get-go. I think he could do much better. He's the biggest, best, supposedly best player in our league. He should be throwing it on guys. And Wayne should take advantage of these. Like, you look at Monstars roster, and I'm like, come on, man, Downtown doesn't stand a chance. But Downtown shot the ball. They stayed in it. They played hard. And that energy, it gave Monstars a little run for their money. Because, again, if you play lackadaisical and then the pressure's on, eventually, man, those shots don't fall. It's like, all right, what do you fall on? Because you're not playing with heart. You're not playing with passion. So now it's like you could lose to a team you're not supposed to.
Right.
So the way I saw it, I mean, just Downtown couldn't hit shots. Monstars just stayed steady. Just, I think, coasted.
My opinion is that I think the game really turned in the last minute with 2 very crucial turnovers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
By
But
Downtown.
they were still down. But they were still losing. It was still a 3-point game.
It was like a 3-point game, but that makes a difference because they were at least fighting to come back. And now all of a sudden, instead of getting a ball like one time, it just went out of bounds.
Well, I think that's the thing. You have Adam taking the ball out, right? I think Jordan should inbound the ball at that point. He's your best passer. He's your best player. You got to get the ball in. You can't have someone, especially with the sideline, with the curtain there.
And he's the shortest guy. And he's the shortest guy.
You could get the ball right back. You're not, you know, you could quickly just get the ball back. When you're being, you know, Jordan, he's a shooter. You know, don't stand there trying to post the ball. And guys all over the inbounder, you're not getting the ball. And even if you do, you're not going to be in a position to shoot.
But you know what? Going into a close final minute of a game with Drew Sutton on your team is like...
Well, you don't know what you're going to get.
Mission.
You don't know what you're going to get because there were a couple...
He had some big shots in the first half.
That's what I'm saying. There were some turnarounds, some things that just...
He did, but you knew it was coming. Come on. You play here all week. You know what he's going to do. All of a sudden, he looks down at the ball. He sees it ticking down. It's a bomb. He's got to do something with it. And it killed him.
Yeah.
It really killed him. I mean, that's not the direct reason he lost.
Right.
Well, here's my question. Does that team stay together? Or do they kind of break apart? Do they add pieces?
I think they should add pieces because they got a nice little nucleus. They really
got a good core. They just need one big man.
I agree.
Need one big man.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they were missing tonight because they were.
It was.
I don't know what the stats were, but I'm pretty sure they were out rebounded on offense and defense between Rob and Wayne. Outside of Jordan, who else was going to grab a rebound for them?
Yeah, I don't know.
So.
And Rob. I mean, he took up a lot of room and.
He should.
Yeah.
He should take up a lot of room. Dude's 6'6", 6'7", whatever he is. He's a monster, man.
He really is. He got key layups. You know, he was in the way.
Was he building a house again tonight?
Of course.
That's okay.
Of course he is.
Quash notices these little things.
It's Christmas time, man.
Yeah.
You look cold out there.
They had him for a second though. There was tension. You know, I saw a moment where Wayne was getting into it with Ryan and what's the other one? Florentine. You got a silly last name. I forget what it is. But they were like getting into it, and then but somehow they
worked
through it.
Mm.
They worked through it.
Lucky for them, because it could have been
It could have
disastrous loss tonight.
So now here's my question. Now we got the Northeast playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who's coming out of any club yet because we got Montvale playing their championship on Monday, Syosset as well, and Westchester's tomorrow. So I could kind of glimpse into who I think is going to come out of each club, but I should refrain from that. I don't want to break cards too early, but based on records, we'll just go with the number 1 seeds. So Monstars is coming out. Runt is the number 1 team in Montvale. You have Bombers, that's 8-0, 9-0 in Westchester, and then you have Unstuck, who's undefeated as well in Syosset. So the way I look at it is, if Monsters doesn't play hard, they're in trouble. Now they might get past Montvale. I'm expecting Runt to come out victorious out of Montvale. But I told you, they play hard. And they're a little, I say slightly better than downtown. What do you feel? How do you feel how far, and again, you don't really know much of the teams, but how do you feel based on what you know about Monstars? Can they potentially win it all?
Well, if they're a tad better than downtown, and we just watched a game that literally went down to the buzzer and was decided by free
5
throws,
points, yeah.
5 or 6 points in the middle of the game makes a significant difference. Because downtown, I think, came back from a 9 or 10 point hole.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
So if they're not in a hole to begin with, it makes that end of the game that much more crucial. And if you're not throwing the ball away, if you're taking care of it, if you're taking smart shots, and you're playing tough defense, it can make a difference.
What do you think, Wash?
The Monstars should be able to travel well, but I know that Rob doesn't come to a lot of games, and I think that he makes a big difference on that team because he's big, he takes up a lot of room, and he takes a lot of pressure off the other guys and gives them a lot of open shots. And when he's not there, they really look different, even though this is his first season with them and they've been winning. But, they built a dependency on having that big guy. So it would be interesting to see, because I know that there's some guys on that team that they get used to playing other teams here. They get used to, they know what they're going to do. So it'd be interesting to see them in that setting. So I would say they travel well. How they would do, I honestly can't say.
No, it's hard to say. I mean, obviously you have a better pulse of things that go on.
Yeah, I mean,
in the other
on paper, they're the best team. Seriously. I mean, you have guys, you got you got Courtney, you got Rob, you got Wayne. There's no other guys like that in the league. That athletic, that big, that experienced, and to have them all on one team, it's like no one. I seriously think no one else stands a chance. But you have a team like Unstuck that's a little on the older side, but they're good. You got Dave Massia, who played at LSU with Shaq. You got guys like Mike Mastro, who's just a beast in Syosset. He really is. Who could give Rob problems, like serious problems, because Mike could step out, he could play the post, he could defend the post. He's an issue. But in Westchester, you have Bombers, too, that are just, you have Tim Munch, who's literally, muscles popping out of his friggin' neck. But, they play well as a team, extremely well, and they can shoot the ball. They don't really have an inside presence, but they just have that chemistry. So I'm curious to see. And again, Bombers don't necessarily win it. It could be McBuckets. Unstuck might not come out of Syosset. We don't know. But I'm just going off of the 1 seeds for every club, and I just think overall, no matter who wins, Monstars on paper is the best team.